Jim, I'll pay you later for the things you didn't say, which is really good. Thank you. You know, I really need to say something, because the memory you will have when you leave this gathering this morning will be, hey, did you hear the guy talk about going to the bathroom and meeting a guy in a bathroom? And I can't correct that, but I need to let you know there was more. I don't want to say there was more to it than that. I'm in enough trouble already. I'm done. Thank you. No, thank you, Jim, Eric, for the nice words this morning, the kind words. I would like to thank the university and the athletic community for the honor this day that you bestowed, and for the opportunity I had to play sports here, participate in sports. I was honored to be part of a program that excelled, to which I could bring my simple gifts, and I made the best of them here. I did some good things, and I did some not so good things. Remember, this was the 1960s when I was here. In the 1969 season, I played well, a no-hitter, went to the World Series, pitched a game, hit a home run. When the season was over, I had sort of a lifetime-changing experience in that Jack asked me to go with the baseball team to overseas, the first Venture for Victory team. We went to Taiwan, the Philippines, Korea, and played baseball that summer. Kenny O'Brien was part of that. My brother was part of that. I was blessed. But that was 53 years ago. What can I say today? As I look back over my years, I find that most of what I have accomplished, whether it is in sport or in life, always involved others around me, other people with other gifts. Now, I did some good things, no doubt, but much of it was beyond me in many ways. For instance, my very existence, my parents gave me life, gave me a home and a family, a place to grow up. It was a wonderful time to grow up when I grew up. Sports, the farm, the country, wonderful. Now, I also have 3 older brothers. They are men of great character. As the youngest, and I was 6 years younger than my next brother, I watched them. They taught me by example, sometimes by words, but mostly by example, and they still do teach me to this day. They taught by example academics and sports, service to others, and faith. And their wives, I must mention their wives, the 3 of them. They were part of the family. My 3 brothers, we had a wedding anniversary just a few weeks ago, and my oldest brother's been married 62 years. My next brother, 60 years. My 3rd brother, 55 years. Now, my wife, Lori, and I, we've only been married for 40 years. We're trying to catch up, but it's a slow process. Lori has been a blessing to me, a companion, a friend, a guide, a constant support in so many things, and perhaps most importantly, a challenge. Sometimes when it's needed, us guys, us athletes, us old men, need somebody to stand up and say, don't do that. Go a different way. Try something differently. I am so blessed. Our children, Andrew and Emily, who made life a joy most of the time, who still make life a joy. He is finishing a master's degree. She's working on her PhD, teaches gifted children. They are wonderful. I can say that. And the crowd is applauding me over the way. I am so blessed, Kyle. I really am. It's amazing. He planned that for me. I know he did. Our grandchildren, Eli, Isla, and Eden, they make life interesting and a joy. 12, 7, and 3. They will grow up in a different world than I did. But God is still God, especially of the future. I am thankful for places like this who stand for something sometimes in a culture which will fall for anything. And so I'm glad there'll be a place here, perhaps that they will want to come to. I am most blessed. Now here at TU, Coach Jack King. It was more about baseball. Yet it was much more than just that. I must mention Jack and Jan. They were the great models of family, of faith, of life, of ministry. On Friday nights when we had home games on Saturdays, we sometimes came to their house for dinner. What they must have put up with from us. And perhaps most of all, back in that day, the teammates. For those seasons, there were 5 district championships in a row. Some of those teammates are here, I know. Some of them are in the Hall of Fame, I know. And some of them are already gone. Yes, it was only a game, but it was more than just a game. It was a preview to life. It was a preview to the hardships that sometimes we all face, but must overcome whether we like it or not. And also, I must tell you, it was such fun. And it was a little bit crazy. Remember, this was the 1960s. It was a crazy time to be in college and in the world at that time. But it was also a challenge. The game was a game of skill, picking up the ball, catching it, throwing it, running. It brought us together. We were all different on those teams, and yet we gave and we worked together, and it worked itself out very, very well. We won together, and we lost together. One of the great pitching performances I remember was on a Saturday. Keith Doubt was the pitcher who threw both ends of a doubleheader against Eastern Michigan. Best performance I have ever seen of a pitcher. Such was the life at Taylor University in baseball in the 1960s. Now, as you've heard, I have been in the ministry. Taylor had a great deal to do with my being where I am. In my church tradition, we have a doctrine called providence. It says, God moves in mysterious ways, God's wonders to perform. I believe that. That is really true. For life is mostly a mystery. It is there before us to be discovered, living day by day. And sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not. But most times, though, we just live. We live together. We live by grace, through faith, a gift of God, and we can never boast about that. It is something we get from beyond ourselves. We are so blessed. Again, thanks to the university, the athletic community, and I need to thank one other person in particular. He was the athletic director of the time when I was a student, George Glass. Some of you probably knew George or know him. He was a cross-country coach. Wonderful guy. Well, on those fall days when we had baseball practice, the pitchers would stand in the outfield. We would shag flies and catch up the grounders, throw the ball into the infield. The hitters would hit them. Every once in a while, we would jog back and forth from right field to left field to make it look like we were really doing something. And I would look over the fence at the campus, and there would be running the cross-country team. And I was always thankful as I watched them run, and run and run. I was always thankful that I was a baseball player, not on the cross-country team. Thank you, and peace be with you this day. Corndale.